So after yesterday's action-packed 5-3 win of Trau FC against Delhi FC, of course, the action now shifts towards match number 85 of the I-League. This is going to be played between Gokulam Kerala and Shillong. And as you can see, the points table in front of you. And the big name over there was Gokulam Kerala, of course. And Gokulam Kerala have a solid chance of getting on par with Real Kashmir FC. They presently have 20 points, and a win today would get them to 23 points. We can expect this game to be an absolute crackerjack of a contest. Of course, this is the reverse fixture between Gokulam Kerala FC and Shillong Lajong FC. And joining me in the comm box is, of course, the effervescent and one of the best, Vashar. What's up, Vashar? How are you viewing this game?
Well, good evening to all the viewers, and good evening to you as well. This game can only be viewed in one way, and that is a cracker of an encounter awaits for us. That's the team arrival of Gokulam Kerala, the home side, the two-time champions already in this format of the I-League.
Absolutely rightfully mentioned. And of course, if you can take a look at the dressing room where all the stories are told, where all the drama happens of Shillong Lajong. Shillong Lajong presently in the 6th position in the points table, and their team bus, you'll see that their players will be getting off. Determination in their eyes, oozing with a lot of determination, oozing with a lot of grit. And now they have a solid chance against two-time I-League champions, like you mentioned, Vashar. Of course, that was under the...
We try to work more hard, and all of us but we are very happy to be here, and at the same time we are happy to play against Gokulam today, and it's a fantastic team, Gokulam Kerala, and I know it will be a great match today. We are hoping that we'll be delivering a good match today, and considering the form of Gokulam Kerala, we are going to give our best and make sure we are going to make as beneficial as we could as out of this match. And at 3 points would be fantastic, and whatever it is, someday if we cannot win, we should not lose.
That, of course, was Sharif Khan and Bobby Nongbit, respectively, the head coaches of Gokulam Kerala FC and Shillong Lajong FC. The action is taking place in the southern part of India, of course, in the beautiful state of Kerala, where people love football, where football runs in the veins of all the people of Kerala, of course. For sure, this is going to be an exciting game, especially Gokulam Kerala, because they are on par with Real Kashmir FC, of course. And now the Gokulam Kerala FC lineup, of course, there you can see in the midfield, then of course in the defensive lineup as well. They're playing with the 4-4.
Well, indeed, Vilash Paul is on goal today. Backline changes because Boba Minu isn't there present today with the team. Not sure exactly why, maybe injury concerns. But let's have a look at Shillong Lajong. 4-3-3 as usual. Nato on goal. There's Kinside, Ronnie, Daniel Gonsalves and Taryang in the backline with Renan Polino and Arik Bista in the midfield. Kinsel Luhit, Rudwer and Sendai lead the front line, and they'll be looking to score some goals. They haven't scored too many. The defense had been compact, but they need to score more. Today's match officials, William Chaikoshi with a whistle in his hand, assisted by Vijay Shankar and Christopher Peter. Fourth official, Arvind Shekhar. We are surely up for a cracking encounter in this reverse fixture. And if you can just remind us about the previous meeting just a few months ago.
Of course, that took place on 19th November. It was 3-1 in favor of the visitors today. It was in their home side, but it's a different challenge, of course. This time they will be the visitors. It was 3-1 in favor of Shillong Lajong. But Vashar, especially after Real Kashmir's 0-1 shocking loss at the hands of Rajasthan United, the table opens up. And of course, remember, ISL qualification to the top tier football league of India is in place as well. That is also a big question. A win for Gokulam Kerala, and they would be at par with Real Kashmir FC.
Well, the point difference is not much with the second, third, fourth and fifth and sixth teams, where Gokulam are placed at fourth at the moment with 20 points, and Shillong Lajong just 1 point separating them, but at sixth. So win will turn the tables today, and they'll get closer to that second and third spot. As you mentioned, Royal Kashmir, they have 23, I believe, if not mistaken. And the problem with Lajong has been that once their downfall started just 4 matches ago, they were the only other team with Mohammedan Sporting who were unbeaten in the I-League, and then they lost out to Aizawl FC, a 3-0 defeat. And their downfall really started. Too early to predict, but then they have struggled substantially after that.
And of course, like you just reiterated about the struggle and that little banana slip which they had, of course, and they would be wary of Alex Sanchez. Boy, what a player. The silked forward, of course, has 13 goals in the tournament, 13 goals under his belt, and he will be a player to watch out for in Gokulam Kerala, of course. I mean, in the forward line, he's an absolute wolf waiting to prowl on the attack. And now the customary handshakes, of course. I mean, Gokulam Kerala and Shillong Lajong. Shillong Lajong in their white strip, and of course in their darker shade of red, it is Gokulam Kerala. The Malabarians, as they are fondly known, the people in Kerala love their football. And of course, this promises to be a riveting contest. We can expect that this game can go right down to the wire, because whenever these two teams lock horns with each other, there is absolutely no shortage of drama. Like in the last outing as well, it was 3-1 in favor of Shillong Lajong. Of course, it was their home side. It's a different challenge altogether, Vashwa, right now, since they're playing in their away fixture now.
It is. It'll be a difficult test for Shillong Lajong, and Gokulam will be looking for revenge somewhat of that 3-1 defeat which came in the altitudes. But then every time they have met, apart from that first real meeting, there has been goals, and it was generally in favor of Gokulam Kerala, where they won 3-2 and 3-1 respectively back-to-back in 2018. There was a draw after that, but Shillong Lajong made a comeback this year against this very side. And now Gokulam, they would want to make a statement again that we are the better side in this fixture, and they'll come all out surely, especially given that they have a chance to still get and grab that top spot, even though Mohammedan is sitting comfortably. But they have got their first loss a while ago, and a draw after that. They will have to be at their top game too.
Absolutely. I mean, they had the opportunity of shrugging off that cloak of mediocrity which was engulfing them, Mohammedan SC, in the previous game, but they succumbed to a 0-0 draw at the hands of Aizawl FC. Plenty of chances for Mohammedan SC in that game, but of course, there's 0-3 blanking at the hands of Royal Kashmir FC at the Noihati Stadium has literally acted as a spanner in the fireworks of Mohammedan SC. But speaking about Gokulam Kerala, of course, I mean, if you take a look at the head-to-head record in the last 5 matches between these two sides, it's 2 apiece and 1 draw. So you know that this game could go either way. We could expect this game to swing like a pendulum. Of course, like we mentioned a while back, 3-1 in favor of Shillong Lajong. Then again in February, I remember, early part of 2019, that was way before the lockdown as well. It was a 1-1 draw between these two sides. Then of course, Gokulam Kerala had a 3-1 victory against Shillong Lajong on 11th November 2018. So we can expect that the past is put behind and the focus is on this particular game between the two sides. It's going to be Shillong Lajong who will be starting, and off we go with that little pushback. It is Shillong Lajong FC who will be playing from the left to the right of their screens, and of course Gokulam Kerala from the right to your left. This is your commentator Bumba alongside Vashar Ghosh, and we expect to bring action to you from ground zero. Very, very important for Shillong Lajong to make sure that their defensive formations are in place. But now from the right flank, but the defensive department of Gokulam Kerala rising up to the occasion, making sure that they negate that incoming threat. I think it's going to be a little altercation right over there. And the first set piece in the first few seconds of the game. This is game on, Vashar.
Well, it is a corner for Lajong straight away to start with. Figo was just looking to feed it through, but the runners had different ideas. But they are threatening in set pieces. They have the height. It'll be a left-footed delivery coming in. Not the best of deliveries, but cleared away. Early signs of danger, and Gokulam, they have pace down the wings, and they are on the counter straight away with the no fall.
Now, of course, they're tearing forward on the counter, but eventually intercepted by the defensive department over there. Now, no foul once again. With that quick little throw in, there was a little bit of an open space. Now, once again, ball shifted away from their defensive third, Shillong Lajong FC. Back in the midfield, Gokulam Kerala FC. Some slick passing. It takes a while to get their bearings right, but with that set piece in the first few seconds of the game, we can expect that this game can be an absolute crackerjack of a match. Of course, Shillong Lajong presently in the 6th position in the points table, 5 wins and 4 draws under their belt. Now they would be hoping that they can put up a fight. It won't be easy up against the Malabedians, but there you can see some slick passing from the men in white, looking for a few options in the back line.
Well, that is the way they generally go about with it. Shillong Lajong, they like to play the passing brand of football under Bobby Nongbert, or rather any other head coaches. There has been Allison before in charge. Even Thangboy Singto is with Hyderabad FC right now in the ISL, and there's a long ball forward. Alex Sanchez on the chase. He's chasing the golden boot as well. Cannot say really chasing. He's leading the race right now, but he's moving gradually towards the target. And it'll be difficult, but he will want to continue. And that's the only way his team can hope for some life up front.
Absolutely. With 13 goals under his belt, we can expect that Sanchez is an absolute force to reckon with, of course, in the Golden Boot race. And rightfully mentioned, like he was chasing that ball, he's chasing the coveted Golden Boot award as well, which is awarded to the player with the maximum number of goals in an I-League game. Marching forward here with those gentle pushes in the defensive third. Not a lot of pressing from Shillong Lajong. Now towards the left back, it was Akhil. Loses out possession. There was an awkward little bounce, and once again it's Shillong Lajong. Good passing. This is really good passing, just trying to get the bearings right. Of course, that long ball couldn't really execute that long ball with perfection. Sahif, it's going to be with that quick little throw in. Akhil gives it back to the custodian. Now slaps the ball forward.
Well, Gokulam from the right. This looks threatening. No fall has the qualities to deliver, but matched up by Taryang. He's been given responsibilities in that left full back position. They have quite often altered that one position. They've tried around with players because all of them are pretty much capable. And one man, of course, from Nepal, who has come into the setup of Shillong Lajong after that January transfer window, Arik Besta in the midfield. He will be looking to impress. Of course, a lot of fans from Nepal, they're very interested whenever there's their favorites coming into the I-League and playing. We have seen a few players before as well, the likes of Bimal Khatri Magar, who's played for Mohun Bagan as well. And well, always good to see some young talents coming in and perform.
Kill right now on the ball. Gently pushes that ball forward. This time it's the captain. Sanchez with that gentle push towards the left. Slaps the ball forward. Then of course a wayward delivery, and they lose out possession once again. It was sort of from the left flank. He's a force to reckon with in the midfield, especially in the left flank. He can deliver in those crosses with perfection, of course. Quick little throw in from Shillong Lajong. Now intercepted well. Now back in possession with the custodian of Gokulam Kerala, Abhilash Paul.
Well, that's another man to talk about. Abhilash Paul has been so impressive since coming in the setup. It was Devansh Dabash who was initially starting games, not to criticize him, but then there was a match in Kashmir where there was a bit of fumbles, and then that gave Abhilash the opportunity to really come into the mix of things, and he is very well adapted with the style of play of Gokulam, and he always had the ability, been in and out of setups, has been part of East Bengal previously. I didn't get too much games there with ATK Mohun Bagan as well. He was there, and Aizawl FC, so he's played all across the Indian circuit. But right now it is his time to prove himself. He's got 2 clean sheets as well this season. And, technically a very sound keeper.
Absolutely. Back again in the midfield. Tussle for possession, tussle for supremacy. It's a little bit of a flip up and they lose out on possession once again. So Figo gives that gentle push to Kinsai Lang. Back to Figo, back to Kinsai Lang. Slaps the ball forward. Now with the gentle push, created that little layoff, and it's going to be a tough angle. Back to Figo with that left foot, but narrowly misses out on the target. It's game on. Shillong Lajong with a couple of chances already. And of course the last touch was from the goalkeeper of Gokulam Kerala, Abhilash Paul. And now the second set piece. A chance to break the deadlock, a chance to take that little lead early on in this game. Arik Bista it is. He's going to take that. Slaps the ball forward. Not a good delivery, but had a clearance right at the edge of the penalty box. The threat still not over for the home side. Arik Bista from the left gives the gentle push. Back in possession with Gokulam Kerala.
Well, tried to be too precise with the through ball, and Figo Sinda is always interested. For the second time he's won a corner. All the 2 corners for Shillong Lajong so far. A very promising young talent from Meghalaya. They're based on local talent, Shillong Lajong, and they promote these quality youngsters. Almost 80% of the teams in the ISL, they have a player who has previously played in Shillong Lajong or have been produced by them, even in the national setup. The likes of Sana Singh and Mahesh Nauram, all coming from this very club, if not directly, but they have got their youth and some time in the club to start with their senior career.
Yeah, absolutely. The Northeast people love their football. It runs in the veins of all the traditional hearts of every Northeast player. They love their football. Mizoram, Manipur, all of them have this deep affinity for football as well. And now in the midfield, snaps the ball in safe waters once again. Abhilash Pal gives it towards the right back, and now Gokulam Kerala trying to win back possession. It's going to be a tough nut to crack away, of course. Shillong Lajong FC and Gokulam Kerala have been 2-time I-League champions and 2 back-to-back titles, of course, under the stewardship of Vincenzo Alberto Anis, who was also head coach of Northeast United, the Highlanders, for a brief time in ISL 2022-23, then became the head coach of Nepal football team as well. So Gokulam Kerala know exactly how to execute these tournaments with perfection, and now possession once again with the men in white, and that's not fair in the eyes of the referee. Back in possession with Gokulam Kerala from the left flank, utilizing the flanks really well. They have to be a little creative in the left flank. It was Shorov, and then of course it was Muhammad Sahif. The action shifts towards the referee, who of course blew the whistle. I think he's going to be needing a little bit of medical attention. Komran was it?
Well, it was Komran Tusanova, always a very lively character on the pitch. Has won the I-League previously with Mohun Bagan and almost did it with Trau. But this very side, Gokulam, was who stopped Trau from doing so and snatched the victory and the title as well from Trau. And Komran Tusanov now is representing the Malabarians. Wasn't getting too many starts. And now with some changes and alterations in all those names, he is very much a key in that plan with Stovanovic coming in the midfield. He's been given an attacking midfield role. Komran Tusanov somewhat just behind the striker. Lajong have it back. Renan Paulino. That's a good little pass towards Kinsel. And he has the eyes to find Marcus up front. He needs options. which do arrive, and he'll go for a shot himself, but feeble an attempt to beat Vilash Paul in that near post.
Absolutely, that was a very, very feeble attempt. Needed a bit more power, but nevertheless, it was a good passage of play from Shillong Lajong, who mean business. Have sent out a statement that they mean business in this game of I-League, of course, the second tier football league.
Gokulam trying to build up from the left here, sort of showing a bit of tricks, trying to just heal it past the defenders. Doesn't work quite well, but they have possession here. And Kamran wants to build from the back again. Akil. Boba Aminu is surely a big miss. The amount of stability he provides in the back line, and his ability to go off front and strike too. Here's Figo. Eric Besta and now Figo. He made the run, and Akil was there to intervene. Good play all round from both the teams. Not really too effective at the moment, but just not allowing each other to play, cancelling out one another is the way things are going right now.
Absolutely, a couple of shots from Shillong Lajong FC, and that didn't have the kind of momentum which they would have wanted, didn't have the kind of prowess they would have wanted, especially in the final third, to be a bit more accurate in the final third. Now, of course, tussle for possession in the midfield. Shillong Lajong, it's a gentle push. Now, trying to build it up from the left flank. But in the midfield, it is Gokulam Kerala who have dominated proceedings, and the flag goes up. Offside immediately flashed. Now Gokulam Kerala have another chance to build it up from the back line.
Saurav cutting inside. Freeman around him is thinking about a pass, and now no fall. He was lining up for 1-2, and they have plenty of options all around. From the right again, a very, very poor cross, but they'll still win a corner out of it.
Another set piece, and this time the first one for the hosts. The first penalty, I beg your pardon, the first corner for the Malabarians, and they would be hoping to deliver in that good cross unless we see a little variation. But now a solid chance for the hosts to take the lead. They've been good with set pieces, but now it's Stojanovic. Good delivery, but parried away by the goalkeeper. And now let's see if they can tear forward on that counter in the midfield. An aerial ball, of course, given. Back in possession. That's really good play from Shillong Lajong. Just exuding control. But just when I said there was good play from them, they've lost out possession.
Well, he was trying to find that forward run, just stopped his run at the last moment. Not sure why. It looked like Arik Pista was there, or maybe Figo, but it was a good idea. Only if the run was carried forward a little more. And these are moments that Gokulam have to be careful about. They're missing that lethal threat, as I mentioned, of Boba Aminu in those set pieces. But Stojanovic's delivery is one to watch out for. Now from the right, good flick from Alex Sanchez. Good covering work as well from Renan Paulino, who was tracking back. And that's just a reminder, that's just why he's on the focus right now. Alex Sanchez is not just the creator, or rather the scorer, he can create as well at the same time.
Absolutely. Now once again, possession shifts in favor of Shillong Lajong, who've not been able to dominate possession. You can see the stat on your screen, 23% as opposed to 77% of Gokulam. Gokulam, yes, they've been dominating possession, but they've not been able to create those little chances. One came through that set piece, but of course, the angle wasn't that right, and it was parried away by the goalkeeper of Shillong Lajong. Nito done well on that occasion. The Malabarians trying to play a possession-based football template, trying to build it up from the back line. This time gives that gentle push in the midfield. Again, marching forward. Needs that little assistance. Again, in the midfield. Gives that gentle push to Rishad. Rishad now to Sahif. Let's see what Sahif can do. It's that forward push to, of course, showed off now in the midfield. Do they lose our possession? Not quite yet. Shot back with Gokulam. Takes a shot from a distance. Very, very tempting, but this is not the time to give in to temptations.
Well, indeed, we'll have a look at that again. Meanwhile, a player down for Shillong Lajong. Not perhaps great connection from Stevanovic. A good attempt in terms of just trying out, but it wasn't on target, so that's a waste attempt. And along with that, it's just a giveaway of possession. When your team is building up, controlling things, having the passes together, stitching a move through, you just need to stay a bit more patient. I understand it is 0-0 and there's no such pressure at the moment at just 16 minutes of the game. But then, these are the moments you need to make count. It's just useless possession otherwise.
And of course, a quick drinks break, a quick chance for them to revamp their strategies, revitalize their strategies. They've been dominating possession, but now it's time for them to convert that into a few goal scoring opportunities. Honestly, I am really looking forward to this game. I'm really looking forward to the remaining phases of this game. It's because this is a neck-to-neck battle that we can expect.
Well, we'll start from the back then. Goal kick for Shillong Lajong. Courtesy that wayward shot from Stevanovic. Lajong haven't constructed much of those moves. Majority of the possession in favor of Gokulam, as we saw a moment ago. It was Renan Paulino who was down. He'll be back on the pitch right now. Marcus, another new addition. Good number of additions in this winter transfer window for Shillong Lajong. Not all of them present in the squad. That is what was surprising me more. There are a few more foreigners who have been added to this very squad. Not sure if there are injuries, not sure if they didn't travel with the team on purpose. Would have loved to hear that from Bobby Thongbert, but well, have to figure that out later on. But right now they have to go on with life with the available resources. Tuksunov, he'll have his eye on. He wants a goal, he likes to score goals. Hasn't got too many as of now.
Back again with Shillong Lajong. It was Kinsai Lang with that little throw in to Arik Basta. Now back in possession with Gokulam Kerala. Gokulam Kerala now. Sahif marching forward with the gentle push, but good interception. Amazing little run, but cleared away. Ball put out of danger so that the defensive troops get back into possession for Gokulam Kerala.
Bobby Nongbert just having a feel of the game as well. Maybe induce some positivity with that Kinsai with the throw-in. Always tries to be intelligent about the game. Shillong Lajong, the way they play, they generally love to keep possession, but today it's just the opposite scenario. Gokulam having the majority of it. Shillong Lajong, even the little amount they have, they're an innovative side. Be it back in time, be it in present, and hopefully in the future too. They like innovation. Shahif controlling things in the midfield right now with Rishad and Kamran Tusunov just dropping a bit deep. Back with Kamran. They cannot really penetrate this Shillong defense yet. They are having the possession, as we time and again said, but they need to go through it. Kamran and looking to initiate that. Alex Sanchez slightly delayed that. And now Shahif with the cross in. Again, a very comfortable one to deal with. Stevanovic just controlling things, no fall. A very slow pace to the game right now. I'm sure that is strategical from Shillong Lajong. They attack with pace,
yeah,
maybe just conserving.
Absolutely, against the runner play, anything is possible in a game of football. Very, very unpredictable. Against the runner play, they can tear forward on the counter. We've seen that on a few occasions in this I-League as well. Shillong Lajong on the counter, but presently in the midfield. Just a couple of touches. Now sprays that long ball, but couldn't really spray that long ball. Defender, of course, all the time has to spray good and accurate long balls, but this time couldn't really get enough on that one. Once again, back in possession with the Rishad. Rishad gives that gentle push to Stovanovic. Back to Stovanovic with that distinctive left foot of his, of course. Back, Sharif marching forward, gentle passes. They're dominating possession completely, making the entire game take place in the midfield. That has essentially been the whole story of the game in the last quarter. In the first quarter, there were a few chances for both the teams, but in this quarter, it essentially has been the action unfolding in the midfield.
No fall. Just trying to combine with Shahif. And again, the tracking back, the movement from Shillong Lajong is very, very difficult to preach. Look at the way they're maintaining their shape, Shillong Lajong. When the fullback is there covering no fall, you can see the central midfielders just dropped to that position and now cleared away by Daniel Gonsalves. They're sitting back and somewhat intentionally. Trust me, we'll see a different game in the second half, even though there's a lot to play in the first half still. But that'll be a different ball game. It is very, very planfully being done by Shillong Lajong, unless Gokulam can get their goal here in the first half. Daniel, good shielding work, but he has been fouled by Alex Sanchez. Might just avoid the card, but will get a stick from the official.
Just having a quick little chat with the referee, trying to get his entire momentum back on track. Shillong Lajong, 23 minutes up on the clock, and of course, if you can see a replay, there was a gentle little push, of course, from Sanchez, and then down went Gonsalves. Gonsalves has been a force to reckon with Shillong Lajong. 3 goals, and of course had scored in the reverse fixture, which was won by Shillong Lajong. It was played on 19th November. 3-1 it was, of course, in their home stadium. Now once again, a quick throw in from the men in white.
Riang just waiting for the signals and his men to get in position. He'll get a retake on that out from a similar region. Halfway through the first half already, and no signs of real warning inside the box. Half chances mostly. At one shot from Stovanovic and Figo Sendai trying to breach the Gokulam defense, getting 2 corners. And back in the midfield. And there are overlapping runners. That's a beautiful pass towards inside. The cutback was open, but he couldn't really time it to perfection. And good defending from Gokulam.
Of course, Sahif at the right place at the right time. He's making sure that that incoming threat is negated. He's an absolute fox in the box, of course, Shillong FC. And now gets a little bit of an open space, trying to wriggle for more space, but brilliant defending once again. Back in possession with the men in white. Marching forward, gives that gentle push, takes a crack on the goal, but just a bit too much distance, and that needed an absolute stunner for that goal to happen.
Well, there was a deflection on that, and it will be another corner. And that's where Shillong Lajong are dangerous. 1 or 2 touches and opens up. Ronald Kidden on that occasion. He has the ability to shoot, doesn't matter left or right. He loves to shoot from distance. He has tried that before. He has performed exceedingly well in the Santosh Trophy campaign as well with Meghalaya. Here's a delivery in swinging one. Not the best of corner kicks taken, but they'll have another chance to build up. Arik Besta, another intelligent pass through the defense, and now numbers in the box. Only if the cross was better, and that's cuffed. And they would have expected more.
Just takes a while to get the bearing side, of course. 25 minutes up on the clock. They've been creating those chances, but they have not been able to execute those little finishes from the left flank as well. Now on the counter attack, this looks promising, but of course the defensive troops once again rising up to the occasion, and they can heave a sigh of relief over here. Shillong Lajong FC Goalkeeper just asking all his players to push back. He's going to take a traditional method of taking that little goal kick. Sprays the ball towards the midfield, tried to gain back possession on that occasion, but ultimately couldn't really get enough on it. Sort of it was. Now back in possession with Kinsai Lang. Takes that long little throw in. Had a touch from Figo, but back with custodian, the guardian of dreams. Abhilash Paul. The Malbarians presently would be looking for a win, and they would be on par with Real Kashmir, who've played extremely well. They've displayed stupendous footballing prowess in the I-League, of course, except that shocking defeat against Rajasthan United, and this is exactly why I-League is so enticing. But of course, coming back to that, Gokulam Kerala using the right flank this time. 1 versus 2. Quick little turn on that occasion. No foul. No foul once again. Surrounded by a sea of defenders. The ball goes outside the sideline, but good little attempt from No foul.
Well, he was thinking there was a foul and a pull from behind, and very little of that, and that is why it was given as just a throw-in, not a free kick. Even I was surprised that it was given as a free kick, but it wasn't. Good officiating on that occasion. Oh, that's a steal, and now it might be a real opening, a heavy touch there, and that'll allow Akhil to cover up, and he knows it, Marcus. He is looking for his first here with Shillong Lajong. That could have been such an opportunity. He created that bit of space for himself, Marcus Silva. They continue attacking Shillong Lajong, and these passes are really troubling the Gokulam defense. And was there enough contact? I do not think so, because they have the ball back and the clearance as well. And a throw in for Shillong Lajong.
We're nearing the half-hour mark, of course, and the scoreline presently 0-0. Deadlock hasn't been broken. Gives that gentle push, of course. This time, Kinsai Long, and loses out possession. Sahif. It's that gentle push once again to Rishad. Now, that's a misdirected pass, and back in possession. Kinsai Long in the midfield right now. Arik Bista looking for a few options. It was the Brazilian now. Gives it behind, of course, to Gonzalez, who's had 3 goals in the I-League. Be hoping to get a few more. And now, loses out possession once again in the midfield. Just a tussle for possession between the two sides. Losing out possession, Shillong Lajong. The very next minute, it is the men in red gain back possession. This is simply a tug of war.
Well, just to brief you about the Brazilian, they have all 3 Brazilians on the pitch. What a combination to have with your side. There are more who have not traveled, as I mentioned. There are 1 or 2 more from Brazil in this Shillong Lajong squad. Their scouting has been a top quality, and that'll be the cooling break at the 30th minute mark. Temperatures in Kerala, of course, even at this time of the year, is not really the smoothest or the most comfortable, and that is why you still need it. I'm not sure it's the same in Shillong. Cannot say the same about Shillong, of course. They do not need the cooling break at all. 29 degrees out there, feels like 35 at the moment, even at this time of the day, very late in the evening.
And in the comm box as well, it's getting really cold, of course. Feels like we're in Shillong, but of course we are in Kozhikode right now, one of the most picturesque cities of Kerala, and a much needed drinks break, a much needed time for both the sides to revamp their strategies and to see how things pan out. It's roughly about 15 minutes left on the clock before we wind down on this half, and it's a good opportunity for Gokulam Kerala FC to get that little lead and lay their eyes on that ISL qualification. They were touted as the favourites in the previous season as well, but it was the side from Punjab who eventually claimed the top honours. Gokulam Kerala, the defensive department wasn't fine fettle in the previous edition, but it's a brand new edition. You have the chance. There's plenty of football remaining in the I-League for the ones just joining right now. To give you a little context, Real Kashmir had lost 0-1 to Rajasthan United. And then, of course, Real Kashmir's 3-0 victory against Mohammedan SC a week back at Noihati Stadium has simply made the I-League points table open up.
Well, indeed, the points table is most of the times open in the I-League, and we have seen final day dramas so often, almost every edition. What happens, be it when East Bengal and Mohun Bagan were competing here, even till the last day you have to wait to find out who the champions are going to be. And well, that's been the case with Gokulam as well, and Trau every year, even when Aizawl were winning the league a few seasons ago, the first team from the northeast to claim that title, even though Shillong Lajong have been here since a good long while. Haven't tasted gold, but they are building a squad once again which can take them to that dream. The dream was on still a while ago. It can again be on with a few wins. The problem for Shillong Lajong is they have already played 9 of their home matches, and that is one thing that will be in their mind. It's always difficult away from home for the sides from coming from such high altitudes, very different conditions. Figo tried to be clever. The two number 7s, and Comron doesn't really want to pace up things.
Absolutely, a very, very good point mentioned about the high altitude. Of course, in any sport, when a team practices in a high altitude, it's a different ball game altogether, and especially in football, temperature and the conditions play a big role, especially because it is really excruciating. The fitness levels have to be on point. Therefore, it always is a tough task, and especially when you've played the majority of your home matches. Now tearing forward over here, but brilliant defensive interception by the men in white. A couple of passes, and then slapped the ball towards the right side. Defensive intervention again, header interception.
Comron somewhat caged in that midfield, just not getting the space to move up front most of the time, facing his own defense. Now a little bit of opening for him. No fall with a wall pass with Stojanovic. No fall. Again surrounded by 4 white shirts. Difficult for him to come out of that situation, and that's good defending from Shillong Lajong. Brennan Paulino. They are so eager to go on the counter. That's a very, very poor challenge, and the yellow card will be out, the first of the game, and Stojanovic, he, though complains, he knew what he was doing. 2-footed challenge from behind. Ronnie missed a bit of frustration coming out, and he has injured himself in the process.
Of course, the first yellow card of the day. Not fair in the eyes of the referee, of course. Just when Shillong Lajong were trying to regain back the possession, it was the Serbian who brought down the Shillong Lajong players, of course. There you can see a quick mazy run, and Arik Bista was down. It was a clear foul. Then it's pleading to the on-field referee, of course, today. Williams Joy. The assistant referees today, Vijay Shankar, and of course Christopher Peter. The judge, the jury, and the law of the game. Sprays the ball, but of course a misdirected pass. They've been spraying those long balls, especially because they are not being able to breach through the fortified defensive walls of Gokulam Kerala. They've tried a few long balls, especially from the midfield. One again from the left back of Shillong Lajong, but none of the long balls are finding the direction which it needs to be. A bit of a concern for the visitors, but presently the hosts, even though they are dominating possessions, but they've not had a lot of opportunities to get that first goal on the goal scoring sheet. Shillong Lajong did get a few opportunities, but then of course they couldn't capitalize on their chances at the aggressive third. Of course, back in possession with the men in red, Gokulam Kerala. Interception, back in possession with the Malabarians.
That's been the story of the game so far. Shillong Lajong intervening most of the attacks and then trying to create their own. Once they give away the ball just like that, they'll soon be tracking back in numbers, even though they're still waiting to see if they can win the ball back before that and have some chances. Sort of. Ronnie is open. He decides to cut inside himself. And now sort of still Stojanovic, one bounce, and the shot is well wide again. Didn't sit well for him to shoot that on the volley, but really good idea, and again poor execution. 2 shots from him now.
I think that's been the story of the entire game so far. Setting it up really well, the setups have been good, but that final touch, but that final finish, just getting a bit too excited over here. Gokulam Kerala on both the occasions when they had gotten, I think on both occasions it was Stojanovic who tried for that absolute pile driver from a distance, but they couldn't really get enough purchase on those shots. Now that's good control, of course. Kinsai Lang, let's see what he can do. Gives that gentle push, but that of course isn't possible because it's close quarters with the goalkeeper. The defensive third back with Sharif. It's been a very slow-paced game so far. Haven't really seen any heart-throbbing moments so far. There have been a few chances, but none of it being able to get you a fine goal. Especially frustrating for the supporters as well, who are all in here for a good game of football, an action-packed game that is essential because of the kind of strategy with which the men of Sharif Khan and Thur is playing with, focusing more on possession, not even using the long ball strategy, focusing more on possession and then trying to breach through the walls, using the wings a little bit, but not being able to execute those crosses well.
Well, Avilash Paul out of his lines and has thankfully landed to a maroon shirt here. Stojanovic feeling the heat from the Brazilian. Back with him. But Gokulam Kerala, they have to think of different ideas, more bright ideas to breach this defense. Arik Pesta almost with a dream pass towards Kinsel. Avilash Paul collects it. Good positioning from Avilash Paul to cut that attack off. Here's Stojanovic. He's seen a long ball through towards Alex Sanchez, moving wide to get involved. Hasn't been involved much, and now no fall with the pace and gets a shot in too. That'll stay in play. The full back on the overlap, sort of again. Suddenly, the Shillong defense looks unsettled, but they're back all in numbers to try and defend that. Alex Sanchez tried to keep it in. He's a goal kick anyway, but look at the hunger, look at the eagerness from Alex Sanchez to try and get his side on the lead, but he hasn't got that supply yet today.
Now, Alex Sanchez has been an absolute fox in the box for Gokulam Kerala, right at the top. 13 goals. He's been the cynosure of all eyes, the way he's been getting those finishes. Like I mentioned a while back, he's like a wolf on that prowl. I mean, he's like a shadow. No one can see him inside the aggressive third, inside the penalty box. And now in the midfield. Whistle blown immediately. The on-field referee knows. Now marching forward. This looks promising. Tussle for possession. Slaps the ball. Ball once again goes outside the sidelines.
Kinsai. Lajong just trying to knock the door at the ending stages of the first half. A missed pass. Miscommunication happens when you have a new striker in, but Komron Tusunov has got some space in front of him. Great defending from Ronnie. Ronnie Wilson has been a pillar at the back. But the referee has allowed play on because Lajong had possession, and now it might backfire. Komron with a cross in. just over Alex Sanchez, and now attention will be shifted to the man on the ground right now, Ronnie Wilson. Just a promising centre back, as throughout the season partnered Daniel Gonsalves and looked so strong and solid at the back. Very rarely have they conceded too many goals. Apart from that Aizawl match which turned the course of things, they haven't really conceded so many goals in a game.
This has already been such a slow-paced game, and if there are more injuries, just make sure that the game isn't really going on with a lot of momentum. Now, of course, less than 4 minutes remaining on the clock of regulation time. The Jaffers having a quick chat with the on-field players, trying to get in some motivation, trying to get in some confidence, of course. I think he's walking off. He's limping in pain. He was a while back. And it is Ronnie who will be outside for a while. Shillong Lajong, a 10-man presently, as he's receiving some medical attention. Forced to reckon with in the defensive department, and he's back. None of the goalkeepers have been tested so far in this match. None of the goalkeepers have had a busy day in office, haven't had their socks dirty. And it's a dream for any goalkeeper to not have a busy day. Once again, a misdirected pass, just a bit too much power on that pass, of course. Now the two goalkeepers would be the happiest today with the way things have panned out in this game. Rishad, for a few options, gives that gentle push back to Rishad. He's got Sharif on the left.
Back with the defense line, and as you rightly mentioned, it is somewhat a dream for keepers to not touch the ball and have a game entirely in such a manner. 77% possession for Gokulam, still leading by a similar huge margin, but at the same time, as a keeper untroubled and untested, he would also want to attack to test the opponent keeper. That's when it'll turn out to be a good day, and that's some good work by No Fall. Now some pace to cross in, Comron shot, an appeal for handball, but Figo will clear it out. And once again, Gokulam at moments, and they have found a pocket wherein the Lajong defense remain unsettled, and they suddenly try to pounce, but still not enough. Just over a minute remaining in the first half regulation time. We'll find out how much added on after that. Stojanovic is looking for options again and squares it to Rishad. Back to Stojanovic. Very slow in approach, one step over, guarded by 3 white shirts. Forced to play it back to Rishad, and no way through at the moment. And once there was, there arrived Tariang from the crowd to clear it out.
This game is lacking the kind of intensity it had promised at the start. We knew that the two teams, when they had locked the last time, there were 4 goals that were scored. Now a cross flank shot, but of course there's no one to receive it.
Well, it was 1-1 at halftime in that fixture too, so maybe it is one team who's going to step out in the second half. And I was talking about it earlier in the game. My bet is on Shillong Lajong coming out with a different game plan totally in the second half, because Gokulam right now, they're trying things, they're trying to reach Shillong Lajong and haven't been effective, but Lajong haven't done that, and they might just try that idea, but they need a clean sheet.
Focusing on the long ball strategy, of course, Shillong Lajong, that has not paid rich dividends to them in this game. Now we're back in injury time. Just get to know in a few more minutes how many minutes of injury time is here, but shouldn't be too long because there haven't been a lot of injuries except one that happened to Ronnie a while back. Of course, one yellow card that was flashed to Stojanovic. 4 minutes of added time in this half. Of course, 4 more minutes of drama. Let's see which way the match unfolds. Of course, now little free kick for the visitors. Gives that gentle push once again, building it up from the defensive department. Not going for any risky shots, and of course a misdirected pass once again. Now, awkward little bounce, but of course the defensive troops once again rising up to the occasion. It was Gonzalez. He's been so intimidating in the defensive line. He's been really good with those clearances, with those interceptions, and of course, like you mentioned a while back, his partnership with Ronnie Taryang has been pretty good in the back line. Of course, there are 4 defenders playing presently for the visitors in their whites. Gonzalez has been an intimidating factor. And of course, Sanchez, who's had 13 goals for Gokulam Kerala in this season, hasn't had the opportunity of showcasing his skill and mettle. Now marching forward here, Gokulam Kerala. Will this send something? Not quite yet. He was firm right in that position, the defender of Shillong Lajong. And of course, Gokulam Kerala, just to reiterate, the way things stand for them, a win for them would mean that they inch towards that coveted first position. Gokulam Kerala are unbeaten in I-League in the last 3 games, coming on the back of a couple of victories, but they of course had a disappointing Super Cup season. And they had a couple of losses, then of course 1 draw game against Punjab. Of course, their loss against Chennai FC and Mumbai City. Of course, Mumbai City, they had a lead. I think it was Sanchez who scored that goal, and eventually things faltered.
Well, Alex Sanchez, you just cannot keep him out of action, but the best way to do so is to keep the ball away from him, which is what Shillong Lajong are trying. But they have to reduce the number of missed passes. Shillong Lajong just trying to bust around.
And of course, I think you were there in the comm box in that game. What went wrong for Gokulam Kerala, if I ask you, in that match? They were leading 1-0. Eventually, they ended up being on the losing side.
Well, we'll get back to you after this attack. A cross in meanwhile. Ronnie was there, and the shot sort of has a second attempt. Tries to be clever. And Gokulam have the lead. And the man brought in the attack to supply for them. Has rightly done so for his head coach.
Fantastic finish. Just at the brink of halftime, it is Shourov who makes sure that the deadlock is broken. And just like that, the entire pep talk during the halftime changes. And what a game we can expect this to be. Just when things were going towards a very, very mundane finish, things have changed completely, and sort of immediately showering his love to the fans as well. There you can see the first touch wasn't that smooth, but then gently clips it past the goalkeeper of Shillong Lajong. And Shillong Lajong defenders are not happy at all. The way Gonzalez showed his frustration wasn't really that great in that. With that, of course, we wind down on the first half. Of course, shortly we'll do that. But what a goal. And with the way things have changed, it seems like Shillong will have to come with a different strategy now.
Well, they'll have to, but now they'll have to think of a part 2 to it, because as per the plan, they needed a clean sheet in the first half, but they conceded. But that is it. Bobby Nongbird has to do the talkings, has to do the tactical board works along with that, as Gokulam just before the break take the lead with sort of strike, and they did so with Nili Perdomo strike in their first meeting this season. This time it is a different number, a different player, but Gokulam have got the goal. Shillong haven't, and all to play for in the second half.
What a finish, what an anticlimactic finish to the entire narrative of the first half. It was possession being dominated by Gokulam Kerala. Of course, if we take a quick look at the stats. 77% possession being dominated by Gokulam Kerala. Not a lot of shots from both the teams. 5 shots from Gokulam Kerala, only one of them being on target, as opposed to 2 shots on target for Shillong Lajong. Only that one yellow card that has been flashed to Nikola Stojanovic of Gokulam Kerala, and there has been no red card in this match so far. We'll quickly take a look at the individual shots. Of course, Stojanovic took a couple of shots, and then Soro with that final shot which found the back of the net. And then of course the player from Tajikistan, Komron, did have his name on the sheet as well. Shots, of course, Lingdor had a shot, so did Rudveer and Sindai.
Well, indeed, a few attempts, but that's unfortunate for Shillong Lajong, the way they conceded defensive error, and missed passes and miscommunications will cost 2. 8 fouls from Gokulam Kerala, 3 from Alex Sanchez, 2 from Stojanovic, who went into the book, and 1 each for Komron, Tusanov, Nidin, and Shahif. And along with that, Shillong Lajong as well, with a few attempts to stop the ball around the park, only 2 of them. Apart from that, a pretty clean encounter from Shillong Lajong, 1 from Ronald and 1 from Tariang. You were asking me about what went wrong for Gokulam in that game a while ago. Just then the goal happened, couldn't really talk about it. They took the lead. It's Alex Sanchez, whom you cannot keep out of action, but Mumbai were mostly looking dominating, and gradually as the game progressed, Gokulam washed away from it. It could have been an early goal for Mumbai too. It was cancelled out for some error. Not sure what exactly, but we'll have a look at the highlights here. Ronald with an attempt early on. Shillong Lajong wouldn't really be happy with the scoreline at half time. It was going as per the plans. It was the first yellow card of the game. Stojanovic tackling from behind. And he cannot get away with such challenges. He was pleading innocence, and this is the moment of difference between the 2 sides. Saurav knew his angles, knew how to be precise, and found the back of the net. But that is it for first half here at the EMS Corporation Stadium. We'll be back again with 45 more minutes of interesting and intriguing action in the I-League. Stay tuned. At halftime, it's Gokulam 1 and Shillong Lajong 0.
We're back in action for this action-packed game, which is happening, of course, at the EMS Corporation Stadium in Kozhikode. Gokulam Kerala FC scored that little goal right at the brink of halftime. It was Shourav with that perfect finish. Then, of course, a few defensive lapses from Shillong Lajong. And this is commentator Bumba, of course, and welcoming my co-commentator Vashwa back on the box. What can we expect in this thrilling second half?
Surely some more attack from Shillong Lajong is one thing we can expect, because they have to try it. They're trailing by a goal, a late goal by Saurav. And this is their opportunity. 45 more minutes to find out if Gokulam can increase their lead. And underway with final 45 minutes. Gokulam Kerala attacking from left to right of your screens. Goes without saying, Lajong from right to left.
There's a very, very interesting point you mentioned about the temperature difference, and I would implore you to tell it to all the viewers. The temperature difference which Shillong Lajong is facing.
Well, the difference in conditions everyone is aware about, but even generally in the eastern parts of the country, even if you do not go to the extreme northeast, it's pretty cool and soothing at this time of the year, at this time of the day in the evening. But even now, it's pretty warm in Kerala. 29 degrees, feels like 35, so, well, difficult for Shillong Lajong. That's what I was trying to point out, but meanwhile, there's been a few clashes. And we'll have to wait for play to restart. The new man up front for Lajong, very interested in getting on the score sheet, Marcos Silva.
Once again, it is a little free kick for Gokulam Kerala, of course. It's going to be Stojanovic. Stojanovic has a perfect opportunity to do something special here. In the attacking third again. The edge of the penalty box, misdirected pass, and once again that little attack, it withered away.
Well, Kinsel getting a bit of treatment on the sideline, is hurt, probably a bit of a cut, which is why he's still out of the pitch. Not allowed on the pitch when you're bleeding, as per the rules of the game. And that is why he's just getting a bit of treatment. Gokulam start on a high again. Shillong Lajong, I'm not sure if they will step up a gear, but they'll have to, as we mentioned.
Of course, for Shillong Lajong, they have to go all guns blazing. You couldn't really see a lot of attacking shots from them. Yes, they had a few shots in the first half, but of course from a distance they were employing the long ball strategy. Are we going to see a change in their template? Of course, Shillong Lajong, remember, are presently in the 6th position in the points table. The men in white once again now loses our possession back with Kerala again. A tussle for possession. It's been won by Shillong Lajong. This has been a good display so far from Shillong Lajong, showing signs of intent early on in this half. It's a long way to go.
A long way to go indeed, but the way Gokulam have started, it'll only get difficult from here if Shillong Lajong do not strike early. And they'll be looking to try and do that all the way back to Vilash Paul. They do not have the urgency right now, and their game plan in the first half, which was just passing it around, controlling things, will work better right now. And Ronnie clears it out. And the free kick is in favor of Shillong Lajong. Figo just trying to hustle his way past the defense. And win here will take Shillong Lajong ahead of Gokulam Kerala on points. But Gokulam Kerala are on the lead. Ronnie chips it forward and not enough on it.
I have a feeling that Gokulam Kerala wouldn't really park the bus presently. They would be looking to go for the kill. They would be hoping to get a few more goals, because presently a win for them with this margin, or even a 2-0 margin or a 2-goal margin, would mean that They just go above Suniti Deccan in the points table, but they have to reduce the deficit which they have with Real Kashmir. Real Kashmir presently in the second position. They have a better goal difference and they would be hoping to get their goal difference better, and once again loses out possession. This is Shillong Lajong, of course, the visitors. Remember, they are coming at the back of a 3-1 victory in their previous outing against the same team. Now using the flanks, a misdirected pass once again. This has been the story for the men in white. So many misdirected passes, but constant pressing, that is the first sign of aggression. The moment you press, there is a sign of aggression and intent all intertwined together.
Of course, and that intent needs to be there. And as you mentioned, Real Kashmir, the difference between the two sides, the goal difference is what's separating the two at the moment, and the live standings is what we can say. And they had an opportunity to actually overtake Real Kashmir in Kashmir, which is, again, the temperature difference is coming into play. Freezing cold, 3 goalkeeping errors, and a 3-0. And that's where Gokulam struggled. In Boba Amino wasn't starting in that game either. And such is the importance of that man, and that's a giveaway. Alex Sanchez, he finds Comron. And that was a missed challenge, and now Stovanovic on his favorite left, and Renan Polino covers up for that mistake. Gokulam looking to double the lead. They're looking threatening at the moment.
And if you take a look at Shillong Lajong, a win for them would have made them go past Shillong, I beg your pardon, Aizawl. Now from the right flank, they're trying to get something from this incoming threat. Stovanovic now takes a crack on the goal, but off target, couldn't really keep it on target.
Well, and that's the speciality of Komron Tursunov. Give him that inch of space. He has the knuckleball weapon in him inbuilt. Of course, he has practiced and trained a lot to execute it to perfection. Has got 1 goal from distance this season itself for Gokulam. From that range against Namdari, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And this was another attempt, not on target, but just a warning sign to Shillong Lajong. Do not leave me open. I can hurt you bad.
Still early in the second half. They've still got a big task in front of them, getting that goal back up against the 2-time I-League champions at their fortress. Once again, possession back with Shillong. They would believe that they could do something special. Chest trap, trying to be a bit more creative, and just brought down very close to the penalty box. That could have been a bit risky. It was fair in the eyes of the referee, of course. Shillong Lajong had a golden opportunity to go past Aizawl FC on the points table. They're of course above Interkashi. Shillong Lajong, they had a couple of losses in the I-League and then had a victory. So it was a good opportunity for them to capitalize on the kind of approach they had. Remember, they of course had a 1-0 loss at the hands of Interkashi, and then in the Super Cup, of course, they didn't have a very good outing where they lost all the 3 matches against Kerala, against Northeast United, and then against Jamshedpur as well.
Well, indeed, and they were experimenting with their lineups a bit in those matches. If you can look at that for a moment, there are a few foreigners they brought in. I was mentioning them. They tested them out. Surprising not to see them here. Douglas Stradin is one of them, I believe, and they're missing their services. Not sure why. Kinsel is back on the pitch with that stitch or the bandage near his left eye. Figo plays it back to Ronnie. More of a scuffed attempt to find Taryang. Stovanovic with a good control, but loses out in a physical battle, which we rarely see him lose. Larry Pesta trying to be a bit clever. He's been given to play the role which Hadi Nongbri was playing. Very surprising to see him out of the equation. Not sure if he has some injuries or whatever.
Back for that little throw in from the man in white. Spraying the ball away from their defensive third. Gokulam Kerala still eyes on the prize, eyes on that second goal to double up the lead. One goal advantage is never a big enough shield. It's never a good shield. You really need another goal, act as a cushion so that it doesn't bite you back, because in an unpredictable sport like football, anything is possible at all. Action in the defensive third of Shillong.
Well, rightly spotted there. A 1-0 lead is not always the safest thing on the football pitch. And off and on we see teams struggle late in the game, and that's a good looking ball forward, but eyes on the ball from Akhil to clear it up. And now Komron Tusanov with some space in front of him. He'll try it again. And a solid proc from Daniel Gonsalves. Good little flick from Kinsel there. So the tricks and flair coming out gradually. Marcus Silva. Wrong idea at the wrong time.
Absolutely, Marcus Silva over there was looking for a little bit of space, but was cushioned by the defenders of Gokulam Kerala. Now using the left flank, trying to do something spectacular. Gives that gentle push behind, building on the attack. Gokulam Kerala. Storyline of the game so far 1-0, courtesy of that goal from Saurav in the dying minutes of the first half.
That's a bit of confusion with Natho. Kinsel just clearing it, more of a pass, a hard one towards Natho. And Daniel Gonsalves, he wanted to get a touch on it because it'll be difficult for the keeper otherwise. And the confusion just allows Gokulam to attack again. Komron Tusanov from the left.
Komron takes a crack on the goal, tests the goalkeeper. It was a grounder, but of course saved really well by Shillong Lajong's goalkeeper. Made a full stretch dive towards his right. Not been tested, both the goalkeepers so far. And now that's a long ball that really could have been a bit dangerous. The goalkeeper out of his position and did the right thing to clear it away. Now gets a little bit of an extra time to, of course, make the defensive formations come back on track. And now we'll have a quick substitution. It's going to be Babu Wick who will be coming into the ground. The Jaffa, of course, wants some fresh legs. It's Komron who will be replaced by Babu Wick, the Serbian forward. That means that they're going to go for the kill. They've replaced a forward with the midfielder. Let's see what Babu Wick does. They're going to go for that second goal. Fresh, with a fresh mind, fresh legs. That sums up the entire mindset of Sharif Khan, who's the team coach of Gokulam Kerala.
The two Serbians will now look to combine, and his first touch is not really what they would have wanted. A free kick for Shillong Lajong. And surprising when they take off Komron Tusanov, he was just getting into the groove, trying and testing the keeper twice now. Might be two ways to it. One, a little surprise, Komron being taken off. Another, he already knew in his mind that he would be taken off, or rather they had a discussion, which is why he just wanted to try and get his name on the score sheet before that. But he couldn't. Just a 1-0 at the moment. Another player down. Meanwhile, just near the hour mark here.
That's right. I think there's going to be a quick substitution for Shillong Lajong, who definitely, I beg your pardon, who's just having a quick chat with the coach. And now a little bit of a medical assistance.
Well,
Game
indeed,
has come to a halt.
very, very high intensity game where you have to defend for entire 90. It is difficult when you take that strategy. On the eye, sometimes it seems like you're just having to sit back and defend, but the amount of intensity it takes for the entire team to rise up, go on the counters, and then quickly track back once you lose the ball. And the problem for Shillong Lajong has been that they've given away too many chances, or rather the missed passes, given away the possession too many times in the midfield. No fall, just being clever. Good touches, great combination play. No fall from the right, brings in a cross and away from both the two foreign entrants. Stevanovic. They still continue with the attack. Shahid from the left will take a touch off him. It will be a goal kick.
That's right. That really could have been a good incoming threat from the right flank, but then just a bit too much pressure underneath his boot when he took that shot from the right flank. But rightfully mentioned, I mean, the defensive formations go for a toss when you counter attack, and then when it is intercepted by the opposition defensive department. But it's been the misdirected passes, but this time a long ball, 1 versus 2. This really could be a little dangerous. He's looking for a couple of options. Now a chance gone begging once again, but they have to build it up. But it's Gokulam who've been bossing in the midfield region. They've been pretty impressive in the midfield.
Well, and that just reminds me about how the boss is missing for Shillong Lajong, and there's another chance opening up. We'll get back to that discussion, but Alex Sanchez is on the ball now. Here's no fall. Again, a clever through pass. Nathan was eager to come out. Not sure if that would have been the right decision. But just rewinding a bit, the boss of the midfield is talking about Hardy Nongri, who was the captain for the first half of the season. Had 4 assists and 2 goals. Pretty much the provider, the creator for the team. And that is a big blow when he's not in the squad. Makes a difference. Of course, he's been with this Shillong Lajong side since a very long while, from 2016.
Yeah, absolutely, and he scored a goal against Shillong Lajong in the reverse fixture as well. So you know that he knows exactly how to play against this side from the northeastern part of India. But what a game we're having here. I mean, the first few minutes were very, very mundane, and then again it was a goal by Saurav right at the brink of half-time.
Well, just having a bit of a chat here, or a little breather.
Of course, a quick drinks break, and a quick drinks break for us at the comms box as well. I mean, it's very, very hot and sultry here in Kozhikode. I can literally feel the sweating that's happening. And
Well,
now
they sure are sweating more than us on the pitch. And they will have to sweat for 30 more minutes approximately to make sure 3 points are on board. Absentees and injuries and suspensions are all a part of the game, but you cannot sit back and complain about that. You have to work and get those wins. Stevanovic with the free kick.
interesting how you were mentioning about Nongbri a while back, and of course there's been a change in the captaincy duties. It's the Brazilian midfielder Renan, who's donned the captain's armband. It's important for him to marshal the troops of Shillong Lajong, especially when they are a goal down. They have to go for that kill. They have to play with a better mindset, with a dominant mindset. Now a quick throw in. What can Gokulam Kerala do here? They have to do something out of the box. They did a little out of the box, of course, and then coupled with the defensive lapses of Shillong Lajong in the dying minutes of the first half, and that's how that first goal transpired. Then once again that long ball not quite finding Sanchez on that occasion. Sanchez, who's the captain for Gokulam Kerala in this match.
Well, Daniel Gonsalves, he was tricked by the corner flag there, who was trying to avoid it. He avoided the ball touching it, but he himself had to avoid the way of the ball to Stevanovic. Clever. But Eric Pista has the pace. He has the quality as well. He's doing the role which Hadi Nongbi plays in the midfield. His difference being he's more left-footed here. Eric Pista is what I can see on the pitch. Has tried to thread those passes through. Takes time to settle down, but he has the quality, and that is why he generally wouldn't play a player in the foreigner quota if he doesn't have the quality enough, and which means that they have done their homework, they have done the scouting work. And talking about substitutes, a while ago for Shillong Lajong, now is the time to go for the change. And a long time to talk about Eric Pesta. He's been taken off. It's Lajong who comes on. So more attacking-minded players added. And Kinsel will drop a bit central. Figo Sindai and Lajong Boham will play down the flanks.
Quick substitution, Eric Pista being substituted once again. It's the coach wanting a little bit of fresh legs, wants a little bit of a fresh energy, and then again intercepted really well. Now trying for that counter attack in the midfield. Shillong Lajong, and once again the misdirected pass. It wasn't a misdirected pass, just an individual fault on that occasion, but they'll bounce on that opportunity here, the Malabarians. But again, the pace of the game there, you can see if there were a couple of goals down or even a goal down, they would have done something different on that right flank. They would have made an insertion, but they decided to give it back. Once again, go for the kill when they have a better formation, and cleared away where there was absolutely no need to clear that one. Babovic.
Well, he was looking to flick it forward with the outside of the boot, just missed it there, and another clever looking pass. But now that I have a closer look at it, Shillong Lajong with that substitution, they are moving into plan B, into a 4-4-2 somewhat, where Kinsel is playing on the right flank, and on the left is Figo Sindai, and the two up front is of course the Brazilian Marcos, and just behind him or alongside him is Lajong Boham, who just came on. So they'll have two in the midfield now. That is why they sacrificed a midfielder. Two out wide. A little more attacking intent. Avilash. Now towards Rishat. That is interesting because they were already behind in that midfield battle, and now they reduced the number of midfielders from 3 to 2 in the midfield just because they need the goals.
Flag goes up immediately. Once again, Gokulam Kerala not being able to breach through the defensive troops of Shillong Lajong. Once again, if we see the replay, was of course
Avilash Paul just urging his team forward. They want to increase the lead. It is gradually moving towards the ending stage of the game. I cannot really see too much intent from Lajong yet as expected, but maybe now is the time to just step up to the next gear. They have to. They have no other option. And that is better. That seems to be onside, but it wasn't well directed.
once again the pace of the game has dropped down drastically. About 20 minutes left on regulation time, and things are moving at a very, very slow pace. I'm not sure what is the kind of difference in strategy we've witnessed from Shillong. Probably the one which you mentioned, was sure about the temperature. They're not being able to adapt to the extreme climate, the humidity, especially the sultriness in the southern state. You're playing in the hilly regions, there's always a cold atmosphere engulfing you. They're not being able to adapt to the temperature here, and of course their strategy of long balls. Once again, if you can see the long ball, this time on the left flank, but intercepted really well. Very, very poor display on that occasion from Lajong, especially if you're brought in as a winger. You expect him to be a bit more with intent. Just stood there in one position, and I think medical assistance will be given right away. I think he's just gotten himself a hamstring pull. Oh boy, definitely not a sight you would want to watch on a football field. Hamstring pull. It's very, very important to stay hydrated when you get a little hamstring pull, and then an opportunity for the other players as well. Of course, Gokulam Kerala would be pretty happy with the way things have panned out for them in this match so far. 3 points is 3 points. They can cover up the goal difference in the remainder of the game when the opposition isn't being too defensive from the word go. But now they have a chance with less than 20 minutes remaining on the clock. It's of course going to be Shodov, the goal scorer. Rishad Sharif
runs out of space there, and no fault. And just adding on to that temperature thing being one of the issues, there's more than one issue. Sometimes what happens with the squad is when you experiment too much, when you change too much around things, when it's already working for you, when you're winning games, not losing at least, and you change too many things. The backline hasn't changed too much apart from Taryang, where you would see Alan Lingdo, but they are habituated. But starting from the goalkeeper itself, Bishal Lama was generally the first choice for them this season, even though Neto has been here since long. Alex Sanchez, meanwhile, cuts back, and a bit of confusion. There might be the second, and Pavlovic, the man who came on just a while ago, who makes things worse for Shillong Lajong. And that is what Gokulam needed, the need of the moment.
Pavlovic was brought on for exactly this. He replaced Comron, and he's delivered the goods. He's delivered exactly what the doctor wants. Delivered exactly what his coach wanted. And the crowd extending their support. What a wonderful start to his game time, of course, in this match. Brilliant work. Babuik. Once again, if you see the replay, a quick turn and then slaps the ball past the goalkeeper. A goal from close range. It'll always very, very special, especially inside the penalty box. And look at those celebrations. I think he was waiting all throughout the game for that little celebration. Babuic finds his name on the goal scoring sheet. Pretty much a shield of a goal, this one. It's going to be very tough for the opposition to stage a comeback. They need a miraculous comeback, and once they get that little comeback, it's going to be really, really difficult for Gokulam Kerala as well. But for now, the story of the game is Gokulam Kerala 2, Shillong Lajong 0, and this is exactly what the hosts wanted, and this is exactly what the entire crowd wanted. And a couple of substitutions, twin substitutions. Wants to take off Shodov, who had scored the goal, and of course Christy Davis and Johnson Singh will be making way into the field. The head coach, of course, Sharif Khan, wanting all his players to get a little bit of game time. And off goes the captain and their goal scorer, leading goal scorer in the tournament, the Spaniard, Alex Sanchez.
He didn't get a goal, but he created one. And the more important one, the second goal, to provide them a cushion to sit on now, where the substitutes can come on and build upon. And tell you what, both these players, one of them, Johnson, gives that different dimension to the full-back position, adding some attacking flair to it. Along with that, Christy Davis, he has got all those abilities to strike. It seems like Johnson will play a bit wide in attack in the midfield. It'll be the cooling break at the 75th minute mark, and Shillong Lajong have to regroup, rethink and plan for a miraculous comeback.
They have to regroup very quickly. It's just about 15 minutes left on the clock, and they have to pull back a couple of goals. I tell you, they score a goal and it's game on. They score a goal, the momentum is with them, and then anything can happen. But of course, Gokulam Kerala would not be dropping their shield. They would not be taking things lightly. They know exactly the kind of approach Shillong Lajong will have right now. The goalkeeper having a quick word with Marcos Silva.
Well, you see it about Lajong scoring, and that will make the contest more interesting. I'm sure you want them to score, don't you? Well, we at least I want that to happen, because that'll just make the last few minutes very, very interesting. I'm sure Gokulam fans do not think the same, and they will want their side to clean swipe past Shillong Lajong. And they have an opportunity to make it 3 as well on the card, because Lajong did score 3 at their home ground. And revenge time maybe, just maybe, with 15 minutes remaining.
Once again, it is the men in red with their gentle push behind. And of course, talking about Shillong Lajong scoring, if they score, it's going to be even more hot and humid inside the comm box as well, because the temperatures will rise if the match gets that third goal, especially from the boots of Shillong Lajong. But for now, it is Gokulam Kerala marching forward. A quick turn in the midfield. Once again, it is Gokulam Kerala who have the owners. If they can score that third goal, then I think they can quite literally park the bus. Another misdirected pass over here. Shillong Lajong had an opportunity, but of course it was always tough to face against the Malbarians. They presently are in the 6th position, Shillong. And Gokulam Kerala would be pretty happy. Another goal and another added advantage. Their goal difference becomes a tad better. Goal difference does play a big role. We've seen in the past as well that it's because of goal differences that people, I beg your pardon, that teams have lost out on championships. It's happened in Indian football. Quite a few occasions, happens across the globe as well. So every single goal counts, and every single goal injects a lot of confidence and momentum into the side as well, which they can translate on to the next match as well. But for now, the story of the game, 2-0 in favor of Gokulam Kerala. We had an absolute interesting match yesterday when Trau FC had won against Delhi FC 5-3. Before that, Real Kashmir losing out to Rajasthan United. So I bet you are sure the I-League, the second half, especially after the international break, is proving to give some more enticing matches.
And a very different one as well. The ones who were expected are getting what's not expected. Even Real Kashmir, they didn't expect a loss sure from Rajasthan United, but they, with alterations and new plans, even the strongest of sides were taken down. And now from the free kick, Nato collects, this time comfortably. Scuffs that attempt again to launch it forward.
Even yesterday, when Trau had beaten Delhi, I mean, it was a good opportunity for Delhi to climb up the ladder, but of course, it is Gokulam once again now. Loses out possession again. No foul it was. Just brought down. No foul on your screen.
Well, more of him running into the man. That is what Renan Paulino is complaining about. He is not happy at all with that decision out there. Will probably have a look at that again. But 14 fouls from Gokulam, 6 from Shillong Lajong. Figo Sinda is struggling a bit a moment ago as well. He was having a check at the sidelines. That'll be a bit of an issue. And I'm really surprised the way they have gone with their changes. Shillong Lajong, not sure if they are forced. We'll surely get to know later on once the season progresses. Avilash with a clearance, that's a very poor one. And Paulino cannot control it under pressure. And now Johnson, fresh legs. But Ronnie Wilson is one of the most confident looking centre backs in the league this season.
That's right. This time, once again, loses out possession. This time, of course, it was Taryang. Things not working in favor of Shillong Lajong. They have to be a tad better than what they have done here. They face off against Neroka in the next game. They get a little bit of time, not a lot of time as well, to regroup and revitalize their strategies. But it's still not game over for them. It's around 10 minutes plus injury time. And of course, they take on Neroka on a Sunday, 18th February. They have 6 days to regroup and revitalize, and they have to be a little better. But the good thing is that they'll be back in the northeastern part of India, where it's going to be a bit chilly. And the hypothesis of Professor Vashor should work in favor of them. Now once again, can he spray the ball? Gonzalez sprays the ball, but another case of miscommunication. Taryang should have been on the run a while before as well.
Well, indeed. Renan Paulino, the focus on him isn't having a great day in office. Does the clearing up, tidying up work. But just to remind you and give you a brief, Gokulam Kerala, this is the 6th time they're playing at home this season, and they haven't lost even a single match. 3 wins, 2 draws, and this is on the verge of their 4th win. And they're the side who've scored the most number of goals in the I-League right now. With this 2 added, it's 29 goals scored, and 14 of them coming at home, 16 now.
Constant pressing from Shillong. That's the only sign of intent and aggression we can see over here. Once again, a tussle for possession now. They're looking for a couple of options. Another misdirected pass. This is sloppy work. This is really sloppy work. This sums up the entire day. And of course, the mindset of Shillong Lajong. A sloppy pass just happens when everything is going wrong for you. Gokulam Kerala would believe that's a good pass from the left. Needs to spray that ball in, and defensive clearance. That delivery should have been a tad better, but the threat is still not over for the men in white. Looking for a couple of options. This time from the right, it is Nitin. Gives that gentle push to, of course, no foul. No foul. Back to Stevanovic, and a tussle for possession, and the threat goes off. But from the left flank, I tell you, the delivery of that cross should have been a tad better, and we could have seen that 3rd goal.
Well, a couple of changes are lined up, waiting there at the sideline to come on for Shillong Lajong. We can see Wadajit and along with him Paga, and both of them have been a part and parcel of this setup. Should have probably started the game, but we can only see that once they come on and make an impact, even though it's difficult with this little time remaining. And now Gokulam can afford to play those passes more comfortably.
Just looks like a practice session with the way those passes are being executed. I mean, they have no qualms about not going for that aggressive shots, but again, just playing around with the minds of Shillong Lajong. Mac with the custodian.
Well, indeed, pressure on Shillong Lajong. Things to do. They need to try and make things happen. Figo wouldn't get onto that. No fall. Constantly from the very beginning of the game has been a threat. Now Rishad is trying to switch it towards Johnson. They still have the ball. No way to snatch it away. Shahid. So much control and composure. And look at those movements of the ball. And now no fall, trying to take it on. Here's a chance opening up once again. Set up for Babovic. Looking for his second angle, wasn't favouring him, but now time for the two changes with Dachit and Paga.
Fresh legs, and the only thing that must be running in the minds of Shillong Lajong is how do they pull a goal back. They pull a goal back and it is game on. It is game on for them. We've seen in the past as well. Most recently in the Super Cup, Gokulam Kerala have lost after a lead, and that is the only thing that is running on. But a set piece right now, and another chance to score that little third goal. Slaps in the ball, but a very, very poor little cross that comes in and just sums up the way the whole game is progressing. Seems like both the teams, especially Gokulam Kerala, are pretty contented with the way things have panned out for them.
Well, very content. Their plans have worked. That goal in the first half rather, the ending stage, that is what helped them totally. That changed the entire complexion of the game. It looked like Gokulam were the side who were more caged and contained by Shillong Lajong, who were looking so solid at the back and not allowing them through. And right now, just because of that goal, everything changed. And that's how much difference a single goal can make in a match.
Especially at the brink of half time. If you score a goal, then I think the entire mindset, I feel the coach had a few things in mind that these are the things I'm going to tell my boys, and then the entire thing goes for a toss. It's like you go for a paper in the exam, then you realize it's a different subject altogether. So that's essentially the way things panned out for Shillong Lajong. You got to give credit to them. I mean, they did try the level best in the first quarter of the game, but post that, it was just a meek surrender at the hands of Gokulam Kerala.
Well, of course, and that second goal adding on to the cherry, the substitutions on time. And head coach Sharif Khan, of course, has to be praised. That's a giveaway though with Dachit. He's a one for the future. Very promising, talented, young talent. Trying to get it back from Taryang. Still above 70% possession for Gokulam throughout the match. 74% right now. And two changes for Gokulam as well. And one of them is a very, very prolific goal scorer, Senthamil. Hasn't got too many opportunities in the I-League. In the Kerala Premier League a season 2 ago, he was running fire whenever he got the chance. So Vikas and Senthamil are the two players who come on for no fall and Nidin.
I tell you, a third goal now, Gokulam Kerala would carve on Shillong Lajong FC's hearts with salt. I mean, that's the last thing which their fans would want. Third goal and their goal difference going down. That's essentially been the story. I mean, possession-based football, how important is possession-based football, we got to know from Gokulam Kerala today. Couple of brilliant finishes. They had their mindset, they had the entire game plan ready. Now, once again, this time sprays the ball. This could sense danger, but intercepted really well. Brilliant interception on that occasion, kept us calm under pressure. And now 1 versus 1. This could be a bit difficult because the entire defensive setup, all the 4 players were forming that little line in the defensive department, Gokulam Kerala FC.
Well, the moment you say the 1 versus 1, there was a player to track back to make it 2, and that is where they won the battle. And these are little things. they've worked on, Gokulam have worked on, and that has given them the edge. Not allowed Shillong Lajong through to attack. And right now, they are a minute away from sealing the deal, and of course with added time to come.
Of course, I tell you, they sealed the deal in this game. That would do them a lot of confidence, but it would do a lot more confidence if they scored this third goal, decided to cut back, but that just backfired because it allowed the defensive formation of the opposition to fall back into place. 1 versus 2, and the flag goes up because it went outside the sideline once again, trying to control the ball. Like you mentioned, they sealed the deal in this game with a +2 goal advantage. They would be nearing Real Kashmir. I think Real Kashmir would be watching this game with bated breath. They were hoping for a different result, of course. So is Mohammed and SC. I think all the teams, especially in the top part, is looking at this game at 6 minutes of added time. If you're wondering why such an extended added time, it's because of the drinks break. It's extremely hot, like we mentioned a while back as well, in Kozhikode, which is a prominent city in Kerala.
Well, good amount of time, but could have been better if Lajong had a goal. But right now, getting 2 in 6 minutes has happened in football before, of course, but not really the way things are going. The scenario right now is very different. Shillong Lajong have it back with Daniel Gonsalves, with Ajit trying to combine with Paga, or Laiwang rather. All the way back to Daniel Gonsalves. They're looking long now, which they have to. Laiwang with some space, fouled by Stojanovic. He's on a yellow card, and straight away it's his hands up in apology. It was more of a tangle at this time. 4 fouls from Nikola Stojanovic. Provided that stability to this team. Another name missing out today from Gokulam Kerala we didn't talk about was Erubedia. He has also been a part of that squad, so somewhat it is his role which has been taken over by Stojanovic right now. Have to further research if he's still with the team or has been released with the new signings coming in. But this is a free kick, an opportunity to reduce the deficit. Renan Paulino.
Reduce the deficit and try and stage a comeback in the game, but they're just wasting time out there. They cannot afford to do that right now. Just trying to play some mind games over here. The Gokulam Kerala FC defenders. Shillong have their eyes on the prize. They have to do that. Now it's the Brazilian, slaps the ball forward, decent delivery but header clearance. Trying to set it up again, this time towards the left flank. Again a misdirected pass, not knowing exactly where the players were. That essentially has resulted in Shillong Lajong losing out the first time, but now trying to make it a potential corner, trying to make it a makeshift corner, of course. Takes that long throw in the line of sight. Cleared away, but there's another set piece. Another set piece and another opportunity for Shillong Lajong to do something breathtaking.
Well, indeed, it was a good little move, and they are looking threatening at the late moments. Paga trying to combine with Vadaji and a very wayward pass, and now they have seen the counter open up. Gokulam
Marching forward on the counter. It's a tough angle, but the defensive formations are not in place. There you can see, just gave a bit too much time, and that pile driver straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, but that goalkeeper did well at the right place at the right time, of course. Nito.
A very powerful punch from Johnson there with his left foot. That could have so nearly been 3, and he wanted to start it quick with the player down.
But brilliant counter attack.
Well, indeed a brilliant counter-attack, and that is the risk always when you're going all out in attack.
Absolutely, I think he's gonna just need a little bit of medical attention. Haku. Once again, in safe shores, it's less than 2 minutes remaining on the clock. And we can expect that the game could well and go in favor of Gokulam Kerala. The hosts were pretty happy with the kind of performance. They will be pretty happy with the way things have panned out in this game for them. Gentle push and misdirected pass, but it wouldn't really bother them at this hour, especially when the match is well and truly in their favor. You can see crowd is slowly leaving the ground. They know the result of this match. They'll be hoping that it is a clean sheet, which Abhilash Paul has. It's always a good moment for a goalkeeper to have a clean sheet.
Indeed, will be his third of the season, if I'm not mistaken again. And Vilash Paul, even though he wasn't tested a lot, but it's a combined effort of the back line and the keeper. Sometimes you do not really realize, sometimes the outings, there were one or two outings where he came out in time, his positioning to just reach to the ball before the attacker, and these little things count. And now it is a wait of time. Well, commentator's curse, he's given it away to Shillong Lajong, and can they take one back with Dajit? Very young, looking for the delivery.
Brilliant, like you just mentioned a while back, the defensive department. It's a combined effort, and of course Tovanovic did really well, just lifted his leg at the right time, prevented that ball from crossing their defensive frontiers. Just a few seconds before the final whistle blows. It's been a good game, game of two contrasting fortunes. While it's going to be good day for Gokulam Kerala, it's going to be a night which they will forget for the opposition. Just a couple of passes, and you can hear that the stadium is buzzing, it's packed. Yes, a few people have left, but the loyal ones will be staying till the very last second, trying a few tactics, but 1 versus 2 on this occasion.
Well, they've run out of space on that white line, but this might be the last phase of play here. And match number 85 in the I-League, Shillong Lajong, they are suffering. Vilash Paul out in time again, a collision and a free kick. And it was offside anyway. And he'll take his time. Vilash Paul knows what he's doing. Experienced campaigner, but not just taking his time, it was a little harsh collision.
Exactly.
4 corners for Shillong Lajong. They started on a high, winning a corner, and since then it had been all Gokulam Kerala. They controlled things, they passed it around, enjoyed majority of the possession, and eventually took the lead just before the break. And as Boomba mentioned, just changing all the team talks at the break, and that is why it became more difficult route for Shillong Lajong in the second half. And it became worse when the substitute Pavlovic came on and scored the second, assisted by the top goal scorer, Alex Sanchez. Everyone did their role right. Shillong Lajong, they have to keep their chin up, and they have to work hard. They're struggling really after that first loss. Back-to-back losses after resumption of the I-League 2. 1-0 to Intakashi, they couldn't score a goal there, and now 2-0 as things stand against Gokulam Kerala. They're struggling to even find the back of the net, even after additions in strike force. It was up to Kareem Sam who was leading the line, and Takuto Miki, who was injured initially, that's what the news was, and he was out of the setup. And then right now, after the winter break, he signed for Delhi FC and he returns to action. But whatever it is, it hasn't worked too much in favor of Shillong Lajong, and they have to look for new ideas.
Absolutely. And with that, the final whistle blows, and the story of the game 2-0 in favor of Gokulam Kerala. Courtesy goals from Saurav, and then of course the substitute Babovic. And this is a complete performance from Gokulam. Would have been a tad more happy if they would have had a bit more attacking prowess, but nevertheless it's a disappointing performance from Shillong, when it never felt that they were in the game. Of course, if we quickly take a glance at the match stats, the possession speaks a different story completely. 73% in favor of Gokulam Kerala, 13 shots from them as opposed to 3 shots. That's 10 shots less than Gokulam Kerala. Of course, there was just one yellow card that was flashed in the entire game to Stojanovic of Serbia. And of course, if we quickly take a look at the shots, 4 of them came from Comron, who of course was replaced by Babovic. And of course, 2 of his shots, one of them yielded into a goal. Sort of had a couple of shots as well, and one of them had that goal just at the brink of half-time. On the other hand, of course, if we take a look at the 3 shots, it's very, very disappointing. Riveri, Sindai, and of course Lindor had their names on the shots. Of course, if you see, none of it was inside the penalty box. If you could see that heat map, that speaks a different story altogether. But the fouls spread all across the field. Of course, Nicola and Alex Sanchez dominating the foul shots along with Nitin, and of course the other 3 players in the form of Comron, Akhil and Sahif as well, who found their names on the sheet. Quickly take a look at the 7 fouls. It really is inconsequential at the moment, because Shillong Lajong FC, before they play against Neroka in their next game, they have a time to revamp their strategy.
Well, indeed, a lot of work to put in. They have to make sure that they bounce back to winning ways, but Neroka will not be easy, and the reason is that they are fighting relegation and they want to get up and over that. There's been a few more issues apart from that for Neroka and throughout both the teams, but they will be looking to keep all those aside off the pitch and look to perform in the pitch. They have lately. We saw trial last day against Delhi FC. Time and again we rehashed on to that, but today it is Shillong Lajong who are down, and down hard with so many losses in a streak, with a win in between, I believe. But apart from that, even the 3 losses in Super Cup, just adding on salt to that wound. 3 and here 2 after resumption, total of 5 losses. Well, so that is it from match number 85 in the I-League. It is Gokulam Kerala who get the better of Shillong Lajong by 2 goals to 0. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you again soon.